Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a comparison. Today we're going to be looking at the official Hasbro Marvel Legend release of the Danny Ketch Ghostrider. Finally, after, I don't know, 15 or 20 years since the last time we got this guy from Toy Biz, versus my custom kit bash thing here. Now, I've done a video on both of these previously. If you want to see details on those, you can check those out, specifically on the custom, since, this is one that there's not a lot of videos out on, obviously. This was a 3D printed custom done by a friend of mine, Custom Cannon, and I'll put links to his stuff down in the description box below. And then, of course, the figures, we've got the official release versus my kit bash that I threw together here. So we're going to take a look at both of these and see which one I think is better. All right, so first up, we'll take a look at the figures, and to me, this is pretty easy. Look, despite some things that I think I may have done better on my kit bash, in general, this is better because it's more accurate to the comic, okay? My kit bash was thrown together with a couple of G.I. Joe Classifieds figures that I mashed together. A vest from Thunderstrike, a custom head that I got off eBay, some stainless chain that I got, and while I love it and I think it's a cool look for Ghostrider, and I think it was really well done, and I'm very happy and proud of this figure here. It's not comic book accurate for Danny Ketch, right? Like, it was something I threw together. Like, it could be a Danny Ketch outfit, sure. But it's not comic book accurate. Now, as far as things that I like about this, primarily the chain here, that I used real chain, which, Toy Biz did back in the day when they did Danny Ketch. I wish Hasbro would have done that, or at the very least, not just used kind of silver-ish gray plastic for all the spikes and stuff on it. I think that would have looked much better, in my opinion. I think we can all agree on that. But in general, I would say this is the more accurate of the two figures, although he is, in my opinion, too small for Danny Ketch, but definitely the more accurate looking of the two figures. So I think if I got to choose between these two, which one is better, I'm going to go with the official Hasbro release on this. Now, as far as the bikes go, this is where things get a lot more complicated, because they're both really good, but they are different. And we'll kind of go through some of the differences here. We've got the official release here, which has, if you're looking at the two of these, more detailing and stuff on the frame of the bike. There's some stuff here that this particular bike, this 3D printed one, doesn't have, where it's kind of flat on the sides. But at the same time, there's also detailing on the 3D printed bike that the official release doesn't have, like these side panels here and the underside and all that, and also more detailing on both the front and rear forks as well, that just doesn't exist on this one right here. I mean, you've got just kind of a flat black underside, nothing there on the sides. There's less detailing on these forks than there is on the forks on that. But you do have some detailing up underneath the forks there, which is nice. You got a little bit of color there on the top. The seat is brown, which it was sometimes depicted as brown in the comics. Sometimes, like this, it was depicted as black. Now, because this was 3D printed and I put this together from parts printed by my friend, I painted this one myself. So this is one that was all painted by me. And I painted the seat black because that's what I wanted. I wasn't going for a brown seat. Same thing with the handlebars and everything like that. And the top of the tank, I just wanted those painted silver. And then, of course, we've got the eyes there on the front shield that I did in kind of, and it's kind of difficult to tell, but kind of yellow with some orange waves going through it to kind of mimic flame effects. Whereas on this one, there's nothing, which again is my biggest complaint about this bike, is that there's just nothing there. Of course, it's got some more detailing there on the shield on the front, which looks really, really nice. Got some damage marks there on the front of that. There's a lot of good in both. One of the big issues I have between this and the 3D printed one is this bike just looks fat and chunky, especially down the center of the frame of the bike there, whereas the custom looks nice and long and sleek, and I really dig that look. Now, one thing that I like a little bit better on this one is the size of the tires. Okay, the tires are definitely bigger on the official release than they are on this custom, which, having those bigger, chunkier tires, to me looks a little bit cooler. If you look at the back tires there, I don't know, there's something about those larger, chunkier tires. However, to go back to this other one, at the same time, I like the material, the more shinier, more translucent, slightly clearer material that this 3D print was done at. I mean, you can actually see my fingers behind here. You can't on these right here. They are made with a translucent plastic, but it's a foggier plastic. So, you know, there are pros and cons to both. One of the things I love about this are the foot pegs that Canon actually put on there are much nicer than these little pegs here that this one has. Obviously, this one came with a lot more flame effects and things like that. This one just came with one flame effect for the rear tire that he had printed off that helps it be used as a kickstand. Of course, he also did actually print off a kickstand that can be used as well if I want to use that. The other thing is the shield on the front of this one is slightly bigger than the shield on the front of this one, which I kind of like the size of this better, although this one has more detailing. So there's lots of little differences in these two. I think both are absolutely fantastic, really well done. I can't thank Canon enough for creating this. I mean, he did everything himself. He designed the entire thing and then printed it off all in resin, and it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And then I got to go back and paint it and put the details on anything I wanted on it. But this thing is also really nice. If I had to pick, if I was forced to pick which one I like better, to be honest, I like the 3D printed one better. I think Canon did a really good job. I'm okay with fewer little lines and detailing on the side of the bike. That doesn't bother me that much. I like that I got to paint this the way I wanted to, and do more of the silver, you know, and the dry brushing and things like that on the side and the underside of the bike. Things which, you know, Hasbro wasn't going to do. I also like the fact that on this bike right here, the front forks can turn, and they can't on the Hasbro bike. They are stuck in place. I like the foot pegs on this better. I like the fact that this is actually filled in and doesn't just have two holes on there. And so while there are things about both bikes I really like, and I'm glad I have both of them, the one, to me, honestly, that looks a little bit better is gonna be the custom printed one. I like this bike better. I think there are definitely aspects to this that, you know, like I may end up putting that Ghostrider on this bike, because I do think that's a more comic accurate Ghostrider. Maybe I use these flame effects on that bike or something. There's a lot of good on both of these. But if I had to pick one, I'd definitely go with the custom. I just like the overall sleek look of it better. I like the fact that there's more detailing on the side and the underside. I like that I got to paint it myself. I like that it actually has eyes here for the front shield as opposed to just holes in the front, which makes no sense because it's never looked like that in the comic book. So, you know, in the end, I like both of these quite a bit. They're both great. I'm so glad that I have both of them. I'm glad I got the printed one. I'm glad that I did my own kit bash here, and I'm really glad that I got the Hasbro one. It's been so long waiting for Hasbro to come out with the Danny Ketch. I love both of them to death. They're both going to go on my shelf probably right next to each other, and they're both going to look fantastic. But in the end, if I had to pick one, because the bike is the main part of this set, I'd have to default to the custom one here on the right. It's definitely my favorite of the two. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that and kind of point out some of the differences between the custom and the official Hasbro release, give you guys my opinion, and you may vastly differ. That's fine, whatever. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching, and always remember to enjoy your collection.